Speak for the Ocean is a network movement. They have more than 2,500 women from all Brazil and also living out of Brazil. We work through working groups with all the very places. We have 6 working groups. One of Black Women in the Ocean, one about the ocean decay, other one which is the COP30 working group who developed a mapping of 51 organization initiatives who are in the intersection of gender, ocean, and environment. And we also have a newsletter that we produce monthly, and working groups for community engagement and fundraising. We have made scripts, campaigns, and we also do researches and surveys with our partners. We produce researches for fisherwomen and climate change, how they relate, how they perceive climate change. And we as ocean people, we cannot leave climate off the table. Everyone should be easily. Everyone here who interacts with ocean knows ocean is getting warmer every year. We have ocean coral reefs bleaching every year. We have more flooding. We have all the troubles. And we know, especially from the science, ocean is our main climate regulator. Ocean is where our heat is stored. Ocean is where our carbon is stored. And we have a lot of ecosystem service which serve women and men, all the humanity, and all the life on the land. So it is very important. And also we have a great population who lives in the shore. We have women and men. We have humanity living around 50% of humanity living near the coasts. And we know storm surges, flooding, the increase of the sea level, it's always impacting those communities. And we deal with a lot of information. As a physical oceanographer, as me, and also as a gender oceanographer who studies gender, we know that we lack information of the ocean. We have technical difficulties, we have less funding for the SDG 14. It's pretty hard to monitor and gather data from the ocean. We know the ocean is huge, it's about 70% of our planet, and if we have trouble getting data in land, we have also a huge problem getting data in the ocean because we have, besides the great surface, we have a lot of the depth. We have huge steps that we knowledge in understanding. And we also have a lot of trouble of gathering and understanding and getting a good use of community knowledge. We are bringing here women because we see women not only as a vulnerable target of ocean, but as a very important leadership role. We see women have, probably by social construction, more tends toward collaboration, or they're strengthening each other and gathering knowledge, especially traditional knowledge. And they are more helping each other, and they deal with the care work. I see ocean conservation, environmental conservation as a care work that we usually doesn't value as much as other groups. And I think women can be more, have more strength and go more for leadership if we deal with the stuff like harassment, which is a very hard conversation, dismantle stereotypes, and lack of funding. And I believe if we tackle these problems and also give support for care work, we can these women shining to all places and doing a lot of good work. And so I would like to call now Bruna Mello. She's responsible for financial inclusion and market access at HAR Brazil. Works to strengthen traditional communities in the Amazon with initiatives that connect gender, climate, and local development. Please, Bruna.
Thank you, Ziri, for the invite to me today. And it's a pleasure to stay here with you. It's powerful woman. My name is Bruno, and it's great to talk to you. I work at HARI Brazil. HARI is a non-governmental organization. We work with conservation of the mangrove areas in Brazil, but we have another work in other countries: Mozambique, Honduras, Philippines, Palau, and other countries that has mangrove areas. And
we are going to put the slides now.
Just a minute. The podes projetar.
You got it.
Today I'm so happy because I will share with you two excellent, amazing experiences about the community engagement. The first one is Casa dos Cities project. This is a project with the local communities in Marajó Island, here in Pará. I was born here in Belém, in Pará, so I'm so happy to be part of a project to develop our region. So this is so important. In this project, we work with the crab collectors in Marajó Island. I think 65 years ago, Mr. Paulo, looking for a solution to improve the value chain of the crab collection in the Marajó. So today we have this solution, Casa dos Cities, and the main goal of this project is to improve the value chain by building a unity crab for the works of the mangrove. So, próximo slide, por favor. We have this plan for this year. In the next year, the crab collectors of Issouri in Marajó gonna have a unity crab facility to improve the value chain. And in this project, we work with local trainings for the crab collectors and to structure a model plan, a business model plan for them. This is some pictures about the architecture plan, and this is the beneficent area, and this is the social area, because it's not just an idea to produce, to sell crab. We always think about the need is to promote a social place for this work, because in the normal day they have a place to do the social interactions. This is some picture about the last training that we did. This project, we always involved not just men but the women, because the most of the case in the world, I think, because the problems of the artisanal fisher is not a case from Belém, Pará, or Brazil. It's a problem in all the world. So we always involve the women because the women has a special paper in the value chain of the crab. So we have the pictures of the last training. Both me and women are learning more about how to bring value for the crab. The second one is Mother of Mangrove Network. The Mothers of Mangrove Network was born by a campaign that we did in 2021. And today it's a powerful network with more than 800 women in the Amazon coastal zone. It's women from 43 communities in Pará. And these women is the real local leaders in their communities. And today they have our governance. So Enilde Piedade is the coordinator of the Mothers of Mangrove, and they have supported by the other women in the from other communities to make this activity. So Mothers of Mangrove Network works with the agenda of climate change, agenda of the bioeconomy, social economy. And today I bring some experiences about the bioeconomy initiatives. This is Luara's, one of the community-based business. It's a group formed by 12 women, and all these women work with natural oils. And for to powerful this work, we have some initiatives to improve the bioeconomy. The first one is a seed funding. Seed funding is a micro investment that help this group directly. So each group received a budget of oh my God, I forgot. 5,000 reais to invest in their economies. We did this initiative for the last 40 years, so we had to put investments in more than 50 initiatives with the seed funding. And after the seed funding, when I see the community business grow up, we invited this woman to participate in another activities, to always looking for the real needs of the groups, and always thinking about how can we invest in the real needs of these groups. And it's another group, Resistir, and today this is an amazing group because this woman created and learning about our history in the community, in the marine reserve, and invest in all these products. So it's so special because in COP30, we always talk about a lot of money, a lot of dollar, $1 billion, $1 trillion, but the experience of the city funding teach to us that a little bit money make a difference in all the communities. So I think Resistir, the women from Resistir, bring to us this lesson because it's not just about the money, but it's just about the connection, the real connection with the peoples. I love too much this picture because I love this woman, all these women, but this is special is Assumar. Assumar is a local association formed by fishers, women involved in the artisanal fisher. So all these women go every day to the mangrove, collect the crab, turu, and all species of fishers, and they had Assumar brings a message for conservation because they never catch all the fish or all the crab in the mangrove. No, just the fish and the crab that the group will use, gonna use. So I think it's three.
Thank you so much, Bruna. I will call Judy Tavares, an environmental engineer and multi-artist at the forefront of Somos do Mar, which translates to We Are the Sea, a traveling environmental education project that disseminates ocean literacy, combats marine litter, and addresses climate change in a playful and creative way, combining art and science. Somos do Mar traveled over 18,000 kilometers and impacted around 45,000 people. Please, Judy.
Thank you. I'm so glad to be here because I really trust that women will change the world. Sorry, but I believe. We have spent at least 6 years traveling through Brazil coast.
Speak close.
Better? Yeah. Okay. We have spent the last 6 years traveling through the Brazilian coast, raising awareness about the ecological importance of the ocean and promoting ocean literacy. We talk about plastic pollution and climate change. And Brazil is a paradox because Brazil is an amazing country because it's huge. We have a lot of different biomes, which one raising different cultures and ways of living. It's very rich. Otherwise, we have the huge challenges as well. The poor education, the sanitation inefficient, precarious housing, violence, and everything you already know. Despite our structural problems or management problems, we are curious and very creative people and who have a deep relationship, who have a deep connection with the community, the territories. We've learned a lot doing this project, and we saw with our own eyes what women and art can do, what can change in their territories. When we arrive in a community to do our work, we need to connect with the local people. Always focus in arrive respectfully, learning, understanding the reality of that place. It's how our project works. We felt the stakeholders, we felt the people, local people, we felt the local projects like yours. No chance to do anything. And we need to count with the generosity and the time of these people to open the doors to us. And who help us? Most of the time, women. And women, strong women that receive us and make it happen. Basically, our project acts through different languages of art. And why we use art? Art is an amazing tool to engage, to encourage. It's like a refuge of hope. You can imagine the world that you want to live. You can see the problems with sensibility lens. And you can see, maybe you can just, later, we in the end of the speech I will talk about that. Okay. And okay. We believe that through the arts we can see the world with sensibility lens, so we can change the future. We think a lot of things can change if we change the future. Future change people who actually changes the world. And art communicates with the sensible part of us, not just the logical part. And we think it's make a huge difference. Make us more creative and resilient about the problems, and allows us to open our minds to look to our own reality and the challenges. But not just to see how we feel, or maybe getting pessimist and getting bad feelings about that, but saying what I can do about my community, what I can do. And it's that phrase, think global but act local. It's really it's a thing that it really changes the world in small parts. And through the art, it's making more magical because it allows environmental education, a rich place. It would never otherwise reach. We can appear in the middle of the city, in the schools, in events, everywhere. You can use the art to, how can I say, to take off the walls, to make bridges. And for us, it's definitely a way to broaden the horizons and spread information, especially when we carefully combine art and science. The art to communicate the science. In this way, across this travel project, we create an amazing network of people all over Brazil, but we could call Women Network. Starting with our crowdfunding campaigns, that my project is our major financial support is from crowdfunding. That people most of the time, and women again, support us from several parts of Brazil. In our activations, in our shows, in our workshops, most of the part of these people is women. Women always participating. And it's clear to us how women are more sensible about environmental issues, about climate issues, and social issues. Maybe because they make a good feeling their own skin the consequences. And they're in front of the care living, they're in front of maybe the place that the life happens. And we can see this through some research around the globe. Some of my works on ocean literacy, like I said, creating awareness about plastic pollution and climate changes. But we are so thankful for these women that support and was our partners through Brazil. And we hope the world starts to value more and more women in the arts and the sensible to building a better world to live. Together, we directly reached 45,000 people. Together, we pass more than 65 territories and publish two children's books. And together, we build resilience and hope. And I think resilience and hope, especially hope, it's things that we really need nowadays. We need in this moment. We need to believe that we need a change, that we can create another world, not just. We need to use our imagination. That's why I think art have a big paper. So thank you for this all women and thank you for you. And I just show a little bit about my job because it's a little bit different. We travel in the 6 zeros through the coastline. So here you have me. This is our car that we put all things inside, and we have some kinds of work. So we have a show. This shows it's ocean terrace basically, and we have these characters, and we have we have workshops with children like that, so we can go basically everywhere because we have different tools to use art with us. This another one is for adults and teachers and people who are still working their territories. And just to show a little bit, we think our project, when arriving in a place, may sometimes make more oxygenating the place. Yeah, because it's new and people can see different types of environment education, not just the same. Because in Brazil, we still doing environment education by just telling like how the whale lives in the ocean or something like that. And I think the environment education is more than that. It's huge. So when I go to the beaches and do something like marine cleanups, but not just cleanup, the cleanup with education. We also do events. So here is in the event, big event in the south of Brazil. Yeah, and that's our numbers. And our job, our work is really hard to have data because it's art. Because sometimes people in the end telling us value things, but we can, So, but we have these numbers, and we have some formularies that people can people testimonial about how they're feeling, and most of the time the hope is always in the I was tired to do this job in my city, and when we can, I'm getting open, hopefully. And yeah, that's it. And our books. In pandemics, and I broke my feet too. So I need to stop to travel. books, and it was really good. It's really good. In this one, we are launching here in COP30. It's a book about climate change in the ocean. And I think the ocean is the middle of the climate change, so we need to talk about that. And this one is about marine debris. It's our first book, and we can go to place that we can go. How can I say physically? So the book go without us, and it's permanent. And how we saw this is how we finance our project. Always about crowdfunding, but we are tired to do that. That's okay. But it's a way people help us and feeling they are together. They are doing something for the environment, for the education. So people really loves to participate in our crowdfundings. And we work with networks, so yeah, our work is never alone. So these are some testimonials from the people, and we have some appearances in the media. Yeah, that's it. Thank you.
Thank you, Julie. The next one is Aline Mendes. She is a social environmental lawyer, educator, and specialist in advocacy and strategic influence. Her approach seeks climate and racial justice through community-based environmental and climate governance. In Belém, at COP30, she is with the delegation of Todas para o Mar, All Women to the Sea, an organization from the southern coast of Pernambuco, of Brazil, that amplifies the voice of people of the waters. And we also have slides. Thank you.
Hi everyone. I am Aline Mendes. Good afternoon to everyone. First of all, I want to ask for permission to be here at Brazilian Amazon and to say thank you to honor my gratitude for my ancestors. And to give open and guide all steps to be here at Belém in COP30. I'm Aline Mendes, and I represent this organization of Litoral of Pernambuco. It's a state of northwest of Brazil. And it's an organization that's working with the community, native community, and our principal project is the surf with the women and the kids. We come from a traditional community of Black indigenous descendant people, like fishers, selfish getters, mothers, surfers, and young people who hold generations of ecological knowledge, their stories and their memories. Today I want to speak about a simple, powerful tool that changes our community, the surfboard, and about how in Maracaibo surf is not just a sport, it's a way of transformation. A force that lives young people, empowers women, defend the ecosystem, and strengthens the foundations of community-led ocean governance. In many places, surfing is seen as recreation. In Maracaibo, surfing is education, identity, belonging, and political awakening. When a young person from our community, like Riquelme, Laís, Ravi, Gabriel, enters the ocean, something extraordinary happens. They connect with ancestral knowledge, they develop discipline, attention, and care for the field. They build self-esteem, empowering ourselves in a world that often tells Black, indigenous descendants, and poor coastal youth that they should not bring. They learn about their bodies, about presence, about belong to the ocean. Surfing becomes a gateway. You can pass it. This is our leader. It's our Black woman. It's a native. It's a local woman from Maracaipe. She grew up in this territory, and she is a surfer because of her social project. And he's a professional surfer and competed in professionals places around the world. But she suffered with racism and ambiental racism because the surfer is a spot in the ocean and the Black people, the Black athletes suffer with racism. And with her experience, when she wasn't more competing, she go back to Maracaipe for the Todos para o Mar for empower these kids to not suffer what she suffered. And surfing becomes a gateway to leadership, to environmental consciousness, to cultural pride, to new opportunities, to the right to stay rooted in their territory. Because movement a wave of transformation, not de transformação. A wave that begins with one surfboard and a dream of the community. All territory is built through the strength of women. First man's daughters, selfish creatures of mangroves, mothers, young leaders who hold the memory of the territory. Yet the same woman face obstacles, ranging by racism, sexism, and the levels of economic inequality. I put there as sexual accent. Yes. Through self education, community organization, women gain autonomy, voice, and recognition as climate leaders. We see girls as in surfing to reclaim space, the beach. We see girls as a surfing to reclaim space on the beach, and Black women teaching environmental education and organizing sustainable livelihood programs and projects. The work of Todos para o Mar is rooted in the principle of development must come from the community. Surfing this park, but was grown from it far bigger. You have engaged in environmental restoration, young people monitoring waves and water quality, women transformation traditional knowledge, and the students need to know about the ocean and the waters because have a Maracaipe, it's one Bahia, it's a bay, and have mangroves, it's a forest native, Atlantic forest, and the ocean. This is community-based. This is community-based development, like ocean governance, and this community-based governance development local culture strengthens the identity and protects ecosystems instead of destroying them. To sustain this transformation, we face one urgent and very concrete need. Todas para o mar needs a permanent physical a permanent physical home. A home where our surfer program can grow safely and consistently. Girls and boys can train without a fear of criminal and sexual um, yes, the sexual accident is work sexual work. Trabalho sexual. Sexual exploration. And uh, and the community can exert itself against displacement pressures. Right now, our work happens is volunteer, and it's so difficult to continue. But when we see the child in the sphere, that makes sense why we are here. Um, Around the world, policy makers speak of ocean governance, but governance not begun in the conference rooms. It begins on the shore in the daily practice of the people who depend on the ocean to live. In Maracaípe, ocean governance looks like of reading tides and understanding this climate pattern, woman selfish, yes, restoring mangroves and teaching children, traditional families monitoring changes in fish migration, surfers acting as guardians of the coastline, and the entire community participating in decisions about their territory. This is governance from below, a model grounded in quality, tradition, and ecological intelligence. And surf is the cultural, emotional, and educational engine that sustains this model. We invite you to join the wave of transformation. And today I ask for governments, funders, allies, partners to join this wave of transformation. Supporting Todas para o Mar is not charity. It's strategic long-term climate investment. Your partnership by the permanent culture and how to say pertencimento, belonging, and the strength to woman initiatives protect biodiversity and the traditional knowledge of the mangroves, of the ocean, of the forests. Um, After where traditional communities are not expelled, where biodiversity is not sacrificed for profit, and where ocean governance is shaped by those who know the sea by heart. It's the O Beach. Yes, O Beach. It's close to an old beach, Porto de Galinhas. It's a balneario touristic, yes. So have many resorts and hotels, and so many of these fishers and marisqueiras, sh- shelfed, yes. She don't have more the knowledge. No, just have the knowledge of social economy, but the hotels and the resorts demand this mão de obra, working force, and she have no time to be in the mangrove and in this year in this year. And Maracaípe, uh, é um local ainda escondido. Era um local. Yeah, it's a hiding place, a hiding spot. But it's so close of Porto de Galinhas that now E ele está visto pelo capital também, está sendo visto pelo capitalismo.
Now he's being sought for the capitalism for tourist exploration.
Então, hoje está tendo essa exploração também, né, de especulação imobiliária e um turismo já muito violento.
Now we have this exploration and a very violent tourism exploitation.
Pode passar.
Próximo.
Não está atualizado, mas
It's not updated.
é um pouco da nossa incidência, né, das pessoas que nós conseguimos. Oi?
This is not updated data, numbers, but it's a bit of their work. It's like 80 children and teenagers, 120 women in 2 communities, and 2.
Yes. Today we attend 250 crianças.
Now they have impacted more than 250 children and
250 mulheres.
and more than 250 women.
Sim. E 600 famílias são atingidas dentro desse.
And more than 600 families were impacted by the project. Próximo.
We saw them.
Nós temos isso em dados. São nossas responsáveis.
These is the responsible people for the Todas para o Mar.
São mulheres locais
They are local women
que também trabalham e lutam pela luta climática.
who also work for the climate sustainability. Próximo.
E aqui são todos os dias tem atividades.
Every day they have activities.
Nós não temos hoje uma sede própria.
They don't have a physical space
Mas
for
a gente
hosting
aluga
events,
espaço,
but they rent a space.
uma casa que está sendo hoje assediada por essa especulação imobiliária.
They rent a place that is now being harassed by speculation for tourism.
E às segundas-feiras tem aulas de espanhol para as crianças.
Spanish classes at Monday.
Às terças nós temos yoga pela manhã para as mulheres e capoeira à noite para as crianças.
At Tuesday they have yoga for women and capoeira at night.
A quarta-feira nós temos o maracatu, que é um brinquedo da zona da mata, né?
At Wednesday they have maracatu, which is a play from the forest people. It's a percussion band.
Aí a quinta-feira nós também temos yoga e arte terapia para as crianças.
Tuesday they have yoga and art therapy for children.
E sexta-feira temos o cineclube.
At Friday they have a cine club.
Inclusive, antes de chegarmos aqui em Belém, estávamos gravando filme, curta.
Before they arrived at Belém, they were recording a documentary, a short documentary.
Porque estão privatizando a praia de Maracaípe e construindo muros que não dão acesso mais a...
Because they are building walls around the beach, so the locals don't have access more to the beach.
Então, está atrapalhando o usufruto do mangue, do mar, o acesso à praia e também o trabalho das pescadoras e dos marisqueiros.
It's making impossible the access for the mangrove and the access to the beach.
Tá? Acho que pode passar.
Próximo.
Aplicações.
Próximo.
Temos projetos de inclusão produtiva.
They have
projetos de renda para mulheres.
entrepreneurship, inclusion for women. Próximo.
E alguns dos nossos atletas, né?
Some of their athletes,
Que antes a gente tem, inclusive, dados assim, em razão do turismo de Porto de Galinhas, Maracaípe e a periferia de Porto de Galinhas acabou se tornando um lugar muito suscetível à criminalidade.
Maracaípe has become a very target criminal place for because of the tourism.
E hoje as mães que antes eram mães de pessoas que estavam em casa
And now mothers who were mothers of incarcerated people, now they are mothers of athletes.
E a gente
Pronto.
consegue ver isso em dados, porque antes 50% da juventude de Maracaípe iria para a criminalidade
Before
e as
it,
meninas iam para o trabalho sexual.
before it, 50% of the young youth were going to criminal activity, and 50% of the women were going to sexual exploration. And now we have data showing that
E a gente conseguiu diminuir de 50% para 3%.
now it's 3%.
E aqui é a permanência, né, das crianças.
And this is the 95 permanency in the project that from the youth. It's a very high rate.
That's it.
That's it. Thank you a lot, Aline. Now I'm going to call Stan. He is from the Ocean Climate Fund, which is a global impact finance initiative focused in mobilizing investment and innovation for the world's ocean, in particular at the Atlantic Rim. Please, Stan.
Thank you. First, I want to say thank you for coming to the hub today to share the work that you're doing. One of the major initiatives that some of our friends around the world have been emphasizing this COP is the role of women on the front lines of climate and as climate leaders. So I really want to just take a minute to applaud these climate leaders. It really shows how the work that's being done on the front lines of climate change is often being done by women. So thank you for your work and congratulations. So I am the founder of Hub Culture, which is this place we are now, and also helped to create the Ocean Climate Fund, which was established last year. The Ocean Climate Fund came because in 2024, Hub Culture was a company that was the first to put nature on our board of directors. We understood about the rights for nature movement coming out of the COP in Cali for biodiversity. And we did a hub there, and we were learning about the rights for nature movement. And then in Davos, at the hub in Davos, we hosted a session on putting nature into the boardroom. And at that event, we committed to doing so. And then we essentially didn't just put one board seat for nature. We were the first company in the world to put all board seats for nature. And we put the Atlantic Ocean on our board of directors. And there's a legal process for how to do that. If you're interested in learning how you can add nature to your own board, you can go to onboardingnature.com, and there are instructions and case studies on how that is done. The exciting thing from putting nature on our board is suddenly we started learning about oceans, and we started learning in particular about the Atlantic Ocean. And that was really educational, but we didn't think it would go much beyond maybe charity, donations, or other work related to thinking about the ocean with regard to the work of Hub Culture. But in January of 2024, we met with the Green Climate Fund, again in Davos, and they said they wanted to work with us. And we said, we have a fiduciary responsibility to ask you, what are you doing for oceans? And that led to a conversation about creating a dedicated fund for the ocean. And that became, through the course of 2024, the Ocean Climate Fund. oceanclimatefund.com if you want to go look at that. In 2024 and 2025, we built a community partner program. And so the first thing we would love to do is to invite all of your organizations to become community partners. What that does is it allows community members to be able to have an impact and a say on the development of funding initiatives looked at by the fund. And really, over the last year, we have built 40 member organizations representing over 1,000 ocean organizations in that process. And in so doing, we've also created a scientific board of scientific advisors and an indigenous advisor to the fund. And we have been meeting with climate ministers and environmental groups from around the world, particularly around the ocean rim, to talk about the fund and to really have the support of the Green Climate Fund on advisory to help us begin architecting what we are doing. We have not raised outside capital for the fund yet, but that's a kind of a longer term process. But in June at the UN Ocean Conference, we announced our first 3 funding categories. And so those 3 funding categories are a commitment toward open source ocean data and building what we call the ocean safety net, which is basically a interlinking network of ocean data, because we felt that ocean data is very, very important, and in many ways it's at risk with the funding cuts in America to a number of things. And so that has been our first initiative, the creation of an open source ocean data initiative. If you go to oceanclimatefund.data or dash data, you can find 25 open APIs of the world's leading sources of open ocean data. And we're working on an announcement that I'll talk about in a moment around that. The second category is blue living carbon, which is basically investment in nature-based projects, very much like the work that you guys are doing over with RARE and in your organization, to fund protection and projects in oceans, and potentially looking at what we call blue carbon initiatives. So that could be carbon credits, carbon forwards, and things that would make a return over time based on nature-based protection and initiatives. And then the third category is blue circular economy and infrastructure. As sea level rise and climate change become an issue, this affects really many, many people and shorelines around the world. So we are thinking and have been researching blue carbon, blue infrastructure. That also includes sustainable fishing and areas like that around infrastructure, as well as things like seagrass and other components that could be linked to economic activity. The fund is a return fund, so it's meant for investors to invest in the fund and to make an economic return. So it's not a grant fund and it's not a concessional fund. And we are talking with banks and other groups about investment to help drive a pipeline between the very big money, what people talk about with the GCF or the World Bank or the IMF or the IFC, which are multi-million-dollar projects, but they don't get down to smaller projects, very much like your guys' projects. And your projects may not be return-oriented, but they're still very important projects. And there's something that, while we may not be able to fund directly with the Ocean Climate Fund, they deserve support. And we want to drive capability for the ecosystem to be able to work together. I'm very happy to say that at 5 o'clock today, we will be announcing the first funding commitments for the Ocean Climate Fund, which we've been working on all year, but I'll tell you guys a sneak peek for that. So the first thing is on the ocean data front, we have committed $10,000, which is around 50,000 reais, to the first infrastructure for a digital tech company in Uruguay to build the first bits of the framework for open ocean data. And that will be happening and paid throughout 2026. And we're working now on the first aspects of that. So we're excited about that first ocean data financial commitment. The second one is very much related to Belém, and we are announcing a 3-year commitment from the Ocean Climate Fund and Hub Culture to support the Clube de Remo, which is this club, which is a rowing club, for the creation of Hub Amazonia, which will be a 3-year project for investing in Amazon from here. And so we'll be using this club as a base for investments, particularly in sports. So I'm very interested in what you're doing on the surfing. In the Amazon with the rowing club, we're going to be creating scholarships for women to be able to come from the Riverinhas to train rowing here, again, to help reduce human trafficking. And so those scholarships are part of an Olympic roadmap to build rowing capacity from Brazil toward the Los Angeles Olympics in 2028. And the goal is that we will get one or more rowers, men and women, from the Amazon to the 2028 Olympics. So we're really excited about that program with Club Remo. And, you know, it's not quite signed, but I think I can talk about it. And then the final thing is we are establishing the Sustainable Ocean Alliance, Belém, a new chapter of SOA. And we have our team here at Hub Culture, our local team from Belém and led by LCO, who is Brazilian but lives in New York, to ground the Sustainable Ocean Alliance, Belém, as a new chapter for that group in Brazil. But most importantly, we're going to fund it with a 50,000 reais commitment over the next 3 years that I would love to actually offer you guys to be able to come into that commitment, where we would fund SOA Brazil and SOA Belém with, you know, Women for Oceans to be able to work on return-oriented projects coming out of that. This will really link to the Blue Carbon Initiative. And so we're going to be funding SOA Belém with that commitment and then driving return-oriented projects through that. So we don't quite know what that will look like, but we are making that commitment to help establish SOA, and we're going to be celebrating that with a party with them tomorrow night. So those are the 3 areas we have. Oh, that's not even the final one. The final one is blue infrastructure and investment for circular economy. And that investment is going to Blue Labs and the Reef Line in Miami. The Reef Line is a new initiative focused on building artificial reefs and regrowing coral. They are building a new initiative in Miami where they just dropped the first artificial reef into Miami. And we are funding something very exciting, which is the development of a new project called the Reef Tile, which is a marine concrete tile that you can attach coral to, and it can attach to seawalls. And the goal is to make every seawall a living reef. And so we are funding the development of the first prototype for that, and the fund will have a stake in that. 70% of the revenue from the sale of the tile will go back to benefit the reef line and the protection of coral around the world, and 30% will go to the fund as a return for investors. So, and then, you know, we want to sell that tile to construction companies and other groups around the world and turn every seawall into a living reef. So those are our 3 first investments from the Ocean Climate Fund, and you guys are the first to hear about it.
How much time do we have?
None.
Okay. I really would like to thank you, Stem, Aline, Julie, Bruna, for being here. It was just a short notice event. So I hope you all like to know better their initiatives, STEM, Ocean Climate Fund. And we thank you, Hub Culture, for the space. We believe Hub collaborating spaces are our main technology for nature regeneration and against climate change. So thank you all.
And we want to invite you guys to please work with us here with the Club do Remo. We're building this hub will stay open now for 3 years with Casa Dorada and Pesica next door. So we're working together, and we want to make this Amazon headquarters for climate action, and especially around oceans, because we're at the bridge between the Amazon and the ocean here. So may I please ask you guys to please help us keep this energy moving and make this the most amazing place for work in the Amazon after COP. Thank you.